Welcome everyone, it's Vapors to Dragamar. It's time for some more Raid Shadow Legends. We are going to be continuing up the ridiculous climb that is Doom Tower. And we are going to remove that so we can get this done correctly. I mean, I could do it on auto, but we're doing the final climb, and I don't want to mess anything up. Last time, we took on floor 110 Magma Dragon. And today, we're going to take on the insect. Make sure at least this account takes on the insect. I also did some ridiculous League of Legends content today. I probably should show the replay of it at some point. I've just kind of been inundated with Elder Scrolls lately. Doesn't help that I'm going to have to do more of it because, I have to do horse upgrades every single day. Santa is not one that goes down easily. He is actually quite painful and difficult to fight. Keeping the turn meter low on these guys is critical to stopping them from being a problem. Granted, I'm almost certain that using Dark Elhain could also have merits here. Granted, if we want to get it before reset, we have to hurry, as per usual. I mean, the thing is, I was doing an alt League of Legends account, and I did not expect to have a ridiculous amount of BS happen. But that did in fact happen, and I bodied some people. Really, really hard, actually. So much so, they started to say things to me that were so incredibly toxic, I could get them banned for saying it. Which is hilarious, and kind of sad at the same time. Especially since some of the champions I bodied them with, I don't even play. So, yeah. I do need to give my Dark Elhain more damage. Perfect. Because yeah, you cannot freeze Dark Elhain without an instant reaction. Their Dark Elhain is remarkably not squishy. Want to keep that turn meter down. Get him provoked if I can. Get a stun if I can. Attack Sir Nick if I can. Because he's going to make their team tank a whole awful lot. Which is not preferred. Got him there. Next floor. we are gonna need we're gonna need yeah, we're going to need armature for this. There is no way of getting around it. Because I do not need the Cephis doing some very questionable things. I really don't need that. Trying to chip away at the Rhodos. And these Cernics. Because Cernic can be a, you know, a major issue. Trying to get rid of these Rhodoses. I've yet to pull a Rhodos, but I've pulled someone like him. I've pulled a Gintoro, which I can use in a pinch as a substitute later. I am so thankful the Cephi is slow as balls, because slow as hell. Because here's the thing. If that Cephi was not slow, we would be in a world of pain. Because what ends up happening when Cephi is fast is it means that she can get a lot of protection and stuff for her team. There's a reason I'm targeting her specifically, trying to get her specifically low. Because I don't, if I have to block Reviver, and I have the opportunity to do so when she's low enough, we're just gonna do that. Perfect. Get to the final gauntlet. Get a provoke if we can. Perfect. I'm going straight for the Cephi. I'm not beating about the bush. You do not want Cephi to take a turn here. Perfect. See? Because then that denies Rhodos a whole bunch of resources. You don't want to. You do not want to give Rhodos resources. He will screw you up. Okay, this one's more this style, so we're just gonna go with it. Because the problem is that Mountain King kind of changes the landscape a bit. Makes it so that different nukers are better to have than others. I mean, you could technically do it without that, but it's... See, the thing I'm mainly worried about is that once Mountain King takes out Syl, trying to keep them under control. One day I will get a Mountain King. One day. But not today. At least we have Gintoro. I have Rosin and Drex, which can do their respective jobs. There's a reason I'm targeting the Mountain King. Because he's the biggest threat to my Syl. You do not want him smacking your Syl of the Drakes, because your Syl is the negative affinity to him. And he will eat Syl alive, which I would much rather that not happen. We gonna need some block revive shenanigans here. See, I could do it with this, except I don't have any block revives void-wise. That's a problem. Yeah, I don't have any void block revive. Ooh, except maybe this guy, but I'd have to build him out. Because I need a block revive. There is no way we're going to do that without block revive. No way. Like, we have to have some form of block revive. There is no way in hell we're going to make it out of there alive without some kind of block revive. It's just not possible. In fact, I just don't see it. Because, like, that many Seafies and blinds. Do you know how much revives that is? Do you have any idea? That's a lot of revives. I just want to point out how many revives that is. Like, sure, Sylar could help, but I need block. Like, there's There's only a handful of champs that do it. One of them is a Nephri Blood Twin, which I didn't get. I'd obviously would love to have one, but I don't. And then there is, I think, Paintsmith. Like, people underestimate the value of block revives. They really do. Because it's a surprisingly rare trait to have on any champion. So, because of that, especially on voids, it's very difficult to, like, it's more common with non-voids. Dealing with Ice Grave armor is extremely annoying. And the reason it's extremely annoying, there's a reason I'm going for the Mountain King, is because I know that the Mountain King is a massive threat. So it's better if I just go straight for him without preamble. Not even gonna. I'm not even gonna risk it. I know I look stupid doing it, but I'm not even gonna risk him being alive. Because if I leave him alive one more second, he'll screw me over. Now, while it looks like I have a lot of time with 10 minutes on the clock, I don't. Because, truth be told, you really have to poof it to get through these floors. Some of these floors are some of the most obnoxious enemy waves known to mankind. Just to kill one of these is going to be a nightmare in and of itself. Just to kill one of these. Because here's the rub of it. I have to try to block their revive. The double Sifi does not help matters. Because it's bad enough having to fight one Sifi. But fighting two of them is a much greater predicament. Like, doing this is really hard because every time when the Sifis go, right? Like, here's the thing. I don't want to kill her. I just want to do that. It's worth it. Because literally, that's what you have to do to get the Sifis under control. Because at that point, when there's less Sifis in the equation, it makes it so that when there's less of her in the equation, it's much more manageable. Like, I have a chance to take the... Because each additional Sifi puts a lot of healing and and peel into the equation. And getting that peel out of the equation is essential if you want to make this happen. Okay, we have the revivers out. Now we can get to the core of it. Now we can start taking the Rhodoses out and stuff. Cause like before that, we're not getting anywhere. As long as the Siphies live, we're not getting anywhere. Now I can just revive whoever the frick I want, attack whoever the frick I want, and we'll be able to most likely win. Because the Siphi was holding the whole team. In fact, Drex can probably finish this anyway. You know? Like, we aren't anywhere... I'm not anywhere near as panicked now. Even though Syl is dead, I'm not panicked. And the reason I'm not panicked is because all the peel, all the thing holding their team in place is gone. I don't care. We've done our job. We block revived. We got the Siphi. Block revived the one Siphi and got the other Siphi out. And that'll do the job. That gets it done. That gets it done. You know, it's actually not a bad idea to have Armiger in here. In case there's some hidden revivers I'm not aware about. You'd be surprised how many revivers are in this place anyway. Let's take the other guys out of the equation. The Stag Knights, if I can. Because the Stag Knights are going to be a massive issue in general. As is taking these guys out so that there's less strengthen. The problem with having this much strengthen on the enemy team is they will take so much less damage. It's not even funny. So because of that, you really want to take out these Whirling Frost Kings, that's what they're called. Yeah, take them out. Because you don't want all that strengthen on their team. You don't. You really don't. Now here we have a bit of a different target. We got to deal with the Rain Beasts. Because the Rain Beasts are going to do something very obnoxious. They are going to heal the enemy team a lot. Which is not something I want. It's why I tried to block revive him. It was a good attempt, even if it, whether or not if it succeeded, great. But at least, like, I had an attempt to take his life quick. Because you do not want to leave these Rain Beasts alive. At all. You do not want the Rain Beasts alive. Because the Rain Beasts will make the team revive itself over and over and over again. And, That's not something that I really want. If you couldn't tell. I just did that to chunk him. I really just want to get to the top floor, because I only have 2 minutes left. If that. To get to the top floor. So, yeah. That's not a lot of time. That is not a lot of time to be messing around with. So yeah, locking their skills would be good in this situation, as you really don't want them to have their skills on up. Unfortunate, but we can remedy that because she didn't get block revived. I wasn't expecting this floor to be a cakewalk because this is the last gauntlet, obviously, before the ridiculousness that is the last boss. So the waves are obviously going to be really brutal around this time. Floor 117. Floor 118. I hope I can get to the top here. I might just put that in Ugo in. Because I need a lieutenant that can do something about the rest of it. The main thing is I'm trying to stop their buffs. The reset's already happened, so we'll see if I can get to the top here. Unfortunately. Although I kind of expected that because, you know, it's a long way up the tower. These final floors are really hard in general. Although if you've made it this far, you probably can get to the top. The real test is around floor 100 and the final boss, obviously. It's like between floor 70 and the final boss is the real trial. Especially anything past floor 100 starts to get really gnarly. There is a Doom Tower hard, but you need special stuff to do that. I'm thinking Gentoro, though, will be involved in that, mixture. You want to cycle this around as much as you can. Because the main thing is to try to keep the defense on these waves as low as possible for as long as possible. Because you do not want You do not want these guys having, these ladies or whoever they are, to have any defense. Because the defense values are extremely high. And that makes it very difficult to get to the top. I'm just doing this to try to keep the cycle going. Perfect. Get that block buffs up. There's a reason I'm going for this strat. I don't want good old, I don't want good old Whirlim here to get away with murder. Because I've had enough of him getting away with murder. Problem is, some of that buffs still went off. Thankfully, not many of my team are vulnerable to it. So, we are blessed on that regard. Move the defense. Perfect. 119. Let's use War Maiden, actually. I just want to have constant decreased defense. That's my plan. That's my plan for this floor. Constant decreased defense. Or having it on reserve or something along those lines. Just constant decreased defense. That's the plan here. Just try to keep them nuked down as much as I can. Keeping their turn meters as short as possible so that the damage I'm doing is maximized. Because you don't want these guys getting a lot of turns. They get maximum value out of it. So that's my strategy here. Since I don't have Madame Ceres on this account, I'm going to be using War Maiden. It's not like War Maiden isn't valuable, but she's more valuable in the earlier games before you get Deacon. And she's more valuable in very specific, like Barbarian Faction Wars and in a number of applications. Now, here, she's also valuable where there's too much magic affinity for Deacon to really be viable. So that's where she's valuable. She also has, you know, appeal value. She has more appeal value to attract people than Deacon does. Deacon is just a Deacon. Whereas War Maiden is a genuine maiden. So, also, War Maiden is easier to get than Deacon. Deacon is actually quite hard to obtain. Keeping decreased defense on these mobs is going to be absolutely vital. And weaken if I can, as well as denying them turns. Because they are incredibly tanky, even with decreased defense on them. Even with 800 arena medals invested in force damage, it's still incredibly difficult to take out these Mountain Kings. Let's see what we can do here. Perfect. Get more decreased defense. Just keep stacking that. Come on. Get these mobs out of the way. It's galling how durable the things are on this. They're not even putting increased defense on each other. And they're this durable. Like it's maniacal. You really think about it. Alright, get rid of the last Frostbringer. I think I still have a Frostbringer. Finally. Now, there is several strategies one can use in this. But I elect a speed strategy. Because I don't think I want to go the slow method. Let's try some decreased defense in there. You wanna go for the decreased defense here. Now, the thing that's deceptive about this is that it's like the calm before the storm. The waves are kind of tough. Kinda. But there is a much darker thing on the actual boss itself. Now, generally speaking, you're going to want to take him out of the equation. So if you don't, he will make them invincible, and that will make your time in here a lot more painful than it needs to be. Increased defense is always good if you have Drexthar in here, which I highly recommend you do. Yes, you can beat this spider with Armiger, but then you need other max health. Like, it will take forever. It's already going to take ages, even with this team. I'm putting War Maiden in here to decrease the amount of time it takes to do this boss. Because this boss is actually phenomenally difficult to do quickly. Keywords quickly. You can do it slowly, but to do it quickly is a nightmare. And that ultimately... Now, in order to do this quicker, I'm going to be attacking the spiderlings on the sides. Alright, we're keeping the damage there. Trying to keep the decreased defense. Provoke the spiderlings if we can. Save the cleanse. Okay. I'm trying to keep the burn on there as much as possible. Because having the burn on this spider is essential for a number of reasons. To stop its revive, and obviously to keep the burn sustained on it. Well, to damage it and to stop it from reviving. So it's got a double purpose. War Maiden is here as a maiden representative. Although Scylla the Drakes is maiden representative as well, but she's not as obvious of a maiden representative. She's always there. She's got a nice physique. It's on par with War Maiden's physique. It's just she wears clothes, and I use her in more places. She hasn't grown... She hasn't outgrown my account, is what I'm trying to say. She's still useful everywhere. Not just situationally useful. Like, she's general purpose useful everywhere, despite me being in late game. So that's the big thing about Syl versus War Maiden. War Maiden eventually gets to retire when, like, for most content, when I find other decreased defense options that are more versatile. Like, Deacon is actually more of a versatile decreased defense option. I'm not saying you can't use War Maiden pretty much everywhere. You can, technically. But if you have Deacon, he does more for your team and allows you to get further in a lot of situations. Because Deacon packs a turn meter drop. And it's not a small one, it's a big turn meter drop. Although there is another champion that I'm planning on 6-starring that has that element of being useful everywhere built in, even in late game, especially for me, and that is Marked, who looks an awful lot like War Maiden, but less of a tan, more pale. Like a pale War Maiden, if you will. Like a paler, like a deathly pale War Maiden with face paint. Equally as hot, also underrated as hell. Keeping the burn up. Keeping the burn up. And I'm trying to save my Mordecai's burn if this guy's burn wears off. Because the main thing is I want each one of those burns to maintain on the spider 100% of the time. I don't want there to be a time where the spider is not getting incinerated. There we go. Got the decreased defense on the main spider. Main reason I'm putting decreased defense on it constantly is because of how much defense it has. I will destroy the frost spider. They will. He will pay. He will pay for his sacrilege. There we go. Get that burn. Revive War Maiden again, because she's struggling. That's another thing. War Maiden is squishy compared to these other goons. Like, Syl is anything but squishy. And that's one of the things that makes her very useful everywhere, is she's not squishy. Same with Drex. Drex is even more durable than Syl and situationally. Which is why Drexthar has a ridiculous amount of applications. Mordecai's time has come. And he didn't land it the one time. The one time. He had one time where he had to land that, and he didn't land it. So this is why the burn is important. This is why. This is why. A few times, if the burn doesn't land, the one time when the burn was supposed to land, and it didn't happen. The one time. The burn on it. At this point, no burn is overkill because I'm annoyed. I'm severely annoyed now. You thought I was annoyed before. No, I'm on a whole new level of annoyed. Because that almost never happens. You almost never get to see why I include 2 burns in this boss fight. You almost never get to see that. You almost never get to see why that is. But now you do. And now I'm severely annoyed. Now I am severely annoyed. There we go. Thank the Lord. Oh. I hoped you never would get to see that. I hoped you would never, ever get to see that. Oh my God.